I guess.
Like these, they have that frosted glass.
Right.
Started like right at the actual minute.
Do this stuff first.
They have to do all this, or
Yeah, just call to order, all right?
so you just have to sit here. Start it right on time.
So again,
I'll probably start in 2 minutes.
okay. And is it just gonna start to talk, or we gotta?
Yeah, on there. Right now it's, this is John Lyon. He's probably the main guy.
Okay.
But I mean,
Okay.
this was on here. So.
Sorry, my mic wasn't on.
I don't think mine was either, sorry.
So the central business district is for location because there's not only businesses located there, but also residential homes.
Okay.
So mainly the criteria, they're specifically set forth in the format, correct?
Yes.
So all we're going to ask is that we're trying to become a government and operation of processes rather than individual decisions. Sometimes I understand that's painful, leads to confusion, but processes can be changed if we find fault or flaws. But in the end result, we're hoping that when the process has been tweaked, if it needs it, we'll end up with something that day in and day out is both consistent and helpful. So what we're simply going to ask is that you look at the criteria that have been articulated, the written criteria. And if this committee determines that there's perhaps either a criteria there that shouldn't be there, or there's a criteria that should be there that's not, certainly we want to know it, and we'll take that back in front of the commission and for modification. But until then, we're going to ask you to look at those criteria.
I guess a couple of questions. The first one is, in the criteria, there's that talks about a certificate of appropriateness. I didn't see any in any of the packets. Also, it talks about one of the criteria as well that we're the grade as well as building permits. I saw no building permits.
The certificate of appropriateness would only be in the historic district, correct?
Right.
And all the central business districts are in the historic district, so I don't know if the property that you're referencing is even in the historic district if it's not.
I'm not talking about any properties. I'm only talking about what's in the criteria.
Okay, so as I'm reading this, it says those projects with approved certificate of appropriateness and all applicable building permits will receive priority. So if they don't have it, it doesn't mean that they're not eligible for consideration. It just means that they would not get that bonus consideration, so to speak. But having said that, as I mentioned, if it's not in the historic district, it would even be no certificate of appropriateness would even be required. Right. So that's basically a non-issue.
Right. I just wanted to know, my question is, did the applicants know that if they had a certificate of appropriateness or a building permit, it would heighten their priority?
Those statements come directly from the application.
Okay.
documents.
Cool. Thank you.
Anything else?
Yes, sir. When we're talking about the process going forward, I think should the city have something of similar nature going forward, that we request possibly either a quarter's worth of bank statements or even a 6-month average on these bank records. There's one in particular that I looked at because we're asking them to be able to demonstrate the financial ability to complete this project, where not to say that they didn't have the funds prior to that, but there was one large transaction that was made to their account that brought it to a balance that they would have been able to incur this expense. However, prior to that, they would not have had the financial ability to do so. And there's also a few documents in here. We had some credit card statements. However, there's no name that's listed on these credit card statements to know that that available balance actually belongs to this company that's applying for the grant dollars. So I think that we need to look at the financial records request a little bit differently going forward.
Yes.
From someone who's in the banking industry.
It's a wonderful note. Yes, we will.
Sound like valid considerations and concerns for us to look at in our criteria. My consensus, the board committee agrees with that. So if you could take that's exactly, appreciate you pointing that out. That's exactly what this is the first meeting at which applications are to be considered. So obviously we're anxious for your feedback, and that sounds like very valid considerations for us to plug in. Anything else? She's anxious for me to leave, so I don't say something that she has to. again for coming and, we'll get a full slate.
Yeah, we're gonna go till we're done.
And what do you anticipate?
We hope to be done by lunch and then break, but if not, we'll come back after lunch.
Very important to be done well before lunch, because otherwise, on his lunch.
It's not a good thing.
I was gonna say, we kind of got the short end of the stick with that now.
You have to ask.
He was the first one to come to me and say, you forgot his wallet. He's a car salesman, and we all know they can't ever tell a lie, or, but.
Wasn't sure what we needed to call right next, sorry.
That's okay.
I was waiting on you.
It's in your book. It's.
You are notified that a special called meeting of the Tax Increment Advisory Committee is hereby called to be held on September 19th, 2022 at City Hall located at 201 North Second Street, Palatka, Florida 32177. The meeting is called to commence at 9 a.m. The purpose of the meeting is to hold a question and answer session with the applicants to finalize, score, and rank the applications and to make a recommendation for the May 2022 Cycle Building Improvement Grant.
I don't know what that is.
Yes, for the record, there was an ex parte communication by a committee member, Mr. Vanderwerth. It wasn't regarding any individual application, Ms. Thomas. It was just a general question.
Yes, I know. Is everybody familiar with that and understands what we're talking about, ex parte? All right, thank you.
Does that ex parte communication affect the process?
If it had been about an individual or an individual case or any of the applications, then the process.
So what you're saying that the ex parte communication does not affect this process this morning?
No, it does
Okay,
not.
thank you.
All right, we will go ahead and proceed with the invocation.
Pick somebody to do it.
Perfect. Thank you.
We're asked to bless this group of people who come together for the good of the city. We appreciate the opportunity to serve our city, and we'd ask that your guidance look over us during this meeting and afterwards. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All right.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and now we will have our roll call. Do we have Mr. Wayne, or I'm sorry?
Thank you. Mr. John Vanderwerth.
Here.
Mr. Wayne McLean.
Here.
Mr. James. Ms. Lysandra Williams. And Chair Desiree Akins.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum and all members are present.
All right, and now we will proceed to approval of the minutes from the July 25th, 2022 meeting.
Motion to approve as presented, Madam Chair.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second approval.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any public comments or limited to 3 minutes?
Second, you didn't call the vote.
Oh. All in favor? Okay, all right, it passes. All opposed? Okay, there we go. I told y'all I didn't know what I was doing with Chair. I wasn't kidding. All right, now we're ready. Okay.
Takes practice.
Okay, now we're ready for public comment. Okay, public comment, 3 minutes, y'all. Anybody want to talk?
If there's anyone here for general public comment, please fill out a yellow speaker's card in the back and bring it forward.
Okay. All right, now we will proceed to our regular business. We will score and rank eligible applications and make a recommendation to the committee redevelopment agency for the May 2022 cycle of the building improvement cost share grant.
As we move into this first item, we're going to go in order on the page that's within your packet. When we get to each one, we'll see if there's anybody physically present. We'll check and see if there's anybody online for the application. If they are present or online, you can ask any questions of the applicant. The applicants are allowed to present any new information or answer questions, but you cannot give a presentation about information that was already turned in. Does anybody have any questions of me before we get started? Perfect.
Madam Chair, a point of clarification, if I may. So I have documents from I printed from our last booklet, and then the booklet that we had today, and basically I just want to make sure it's the same information. It is, okay. Thank you.
Sorry, for the record, I'll speak out loud. Yes, the packets are the same information. Yes, ma'am.
The first project address is 118 North 8th Street, Palatka, Florida, 32177.
Is there anyone here or?
Yes, I'm here, present.
Perfect. Do you have any new information for the committee?
No new information. I'd like to think that the packet was submitted correctly with as much information as possible. I heard a comment earlier about the building permits, and I've submitted quotes, but the thing is, and I'm sure it's known by now, it's pretty difficult getting permits in a timely manner or a timely fashion, and and then there's a cost and time involved, and with that could impede getting documentation and things in time. So
Yeah, perfectly understandable. Let's limit our responses to either answers to direct questions or any new information, but I do understand your point about the permits. I think we all get that. Does anyone on the committee have any questions for Mr. McQueen?
Just to keep the record straight, Ms.
Yes,
Tucker,
ma'am.
if everybody could identify themselves as they come before and provide their addresses. Thank you.
So my name is Ronald McQueen, and my wife Deb McQueen is on as well, and we represent the property at 118 North 8th Street.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions from the committee?
I noticed when reviewing this application that the tax collector information is listed under Teresa Lewis and Mark Brown, not the McQueens.
I was hoping that would be updated by now. I closed on that property in December of 2021. And every now and then when I spot check, I still see that. But then there's another site that you have here. One tax site shows the older owners, and another site has the correct information for myself and my wife. I can't remember which one is which, but they're both, Putnam County sites. But the property is listed, is owned by McQueen Homes.
Okay. And then I also noticed under the project description, you had listed here that the property requires a total renovation, including but not limited to framework, walls, updated electrical wiring, new HVAC, new plumbing, ceilings, and flooring. However, in the areas where you actually outline the individual labor cost and materials, I don't see anything referencing the electrical or the HVAC. Believe me, I'm no construction expert by any means, but I'd be inclined to say that that's a pretty significant expense. Was that just an
Well-
oversight, or am I looking at it wrong possibly?
Well, what has happened since then? I went in and got a really good look at the electrical, and the electrical was actually in much better shape than I anticipated when I purchased the property. So I scrapped that part of it. And regarding the HVAC, I went ahead and spent money out of my own pocket to install the HVAC system at that address. So that's already accounted for. And to your point, it is a considerable expense, but I've taken care of that personally out of my own pocket. So with that, whatever funding received will be applied towards the other project points that are listed. I'm not sure. I believe I mentioned the driveway as well, and so the cost of concrete is skyrocketing. And if you're familiar with the property, it's a very it'll be a very long driveway. So any funds, I'm sure the majority of them will go towards that.
Does the application reflect in a way that can be figured out the amount that's left to take care of the scope that was included minus the electrical and the HVAC?
In my opinion, it does. However, we don't have any formal quotes. So I'm assuming that these are just dollar amounts based on his area of expertise, that he already knows what these costs would be. But I may be off base with that.
That is correct, and I do have a concrete quote that I can submit if need be. I actually have it from the local company here, 3C's Construction. So I have a physical quote from them that I can submit. I wasn't able to obtain it at the time because they were extremely busy. As you remember, if you can recall, the labor shortages and the supply chain issues that we were going through, it was next to impossible to get anybody to do anything. But I was fortunate enough to get that after the fact, and I can submit that anytime you want me to.
Can you please just tell the committee the amount of the quote for the concrete?
Yes, $12,000.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any further questions from the committee?
Not necessarily a question, but more a statement that ties back into my original comments. The Visa Platinum statement that was included with this application, which would be where the bulk of the available funds to complete the applicant's portion of these upgrades, it indicates that he has an available credit limit of $47,000. However, there's nothing on this statement that shows ownership by McQueen Homes or Mr. McQueen or his wife. So I believe that this is his, but there's nothing on this record that we've been provided that shows us ownership.
Oh, I didn't realize that, but that's easy.
I knew you did. That was why I mentioned at the beginning, because I think that we probably could have led that off at the application process. So we know better going forward.
Okay, thank you. And just I'd like to add as well, regarding the project, I've put in close to almost $100,000 of my own money thus far. So I've spent intensively on this project already. So
thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if no one has any further questions, we're going to go via a call here for your scoring. Ms. Williams, for project quality.
Score at the end, so I didn't score.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're going to score as we go along, so we'll take just a few minutes and let you decide what your scores are going to be for project quality, project feasibility, and redevelopment impact.
Okay.
Does anybody need a copy of a physical copy? You've got it. Perfect.
So you want the total points of the quality at this time?
We'll need points for all three categories: project quality, 0 to 25 points; project feasibility, 0 to 25 points; redevelopment impact, 0 to 50 points.
Okay. Project quality would be 20 points. Project feasibility, 25. $20. Project feasibility, 25. $25.
Yes, project quality, 22, project feasibility, 20, redevelopment impact, 38.
Project quality, 15. Project feasibility, 15. And redevelopment impact.
Project quality 15, project feasibility 20, redevelopment impact 40.
Project quality, 20. Project feasibility, 10. Redevelopment impact, 40.
Okay. All right, and we will now move on to 309 St. John's Avenue. Do we have anybody here in person? Do we have anybody online?
Yes,
309, yes.
John Lyon, 309 St. John's Avenue,
Okay, Mr. Ryan.
Lyon.
Are there any questions for Mr. Ryan from the committee?
I have a question, Madam Chair, if I may. Okay. In reading this, and maybe it's not part of it, but are the canopies in the scope of work for this or not?
No, sir.
Thank you.
I also have a question. In the cost estimate, you indicated that Latitudes Northeast Florida recommends a thorough inspection of the support beam located at 309 St. John's Avenue. It says that repairs to this beam will be significantly less as replacement might not be necessary if deterioration is addressed early enough. And I was just wondering whether or not that had been completed, and if so, what were the results?
I've had the beam reviewed by a structural engineer, and he is calling for a full replacement of that beam.
Do we know what the estimated cost of that would be?
I have no idea. That would be up to Conrad from Latitudes. I'm going to say that this is definitely going to be on the higher end because it is a structural beam. And if you read through the instructions of what they have to do, the scope of work that they have to do is going to have to be to support that full facade, basically on that side of the building. While they do the work.
And it's possible that I overlooked it in the packet because I noticed this to be a theme throughout the applications, but do you know what your estimated taxable value after project completion is?
I don't know that the taxable value is going to change from what it is, because I don't know if they base that taxable value that they have now based on that beam being compromised like it is. So I'm not positive on taxable value except for what they already put on it. I don't know if it goes up and down from there or how it goes up and down from there.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
We ready to go ahead and rank?
Okay.
Okay.
Ms. Williams, project quality,
25,
feasibility,
25,
redevelopment impact.
50.
Mr. Vanderwood,
Project quality, 20, feasibility, 20, and redevelopment impact, 42.
Mr. Norwood,
Project quality 15. Project feasibility 20. Impact 40.
okay, Mr. McLean,
Project quality 15, project feasibility 20, redevelopment impact 40.
Ms. Akins,
Project quality 25, project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 45.
moving right along to 113 North 4th Street. Sorry.
I'm Chelsea Fortner. I'm the Vice President of Palatka Abstract. I'm here mostly on behalf of Walter Fortner, who's the one who actually submitted the application and everything.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Ms. Fortner? Are we ready to rank?
I do, in case you want it, have some before and after pictures. It's kind of like a simple exterior project if you want them. I brought them.
Sure.
Start them on one side.
All right, after reviewing the images provided by her, do we have any additional questions? Or are we ready to rank?
No, no worries. Okay, we'll move right to scoring. Ms. Williams.
For project quality, 25, project feasibility, 25, redevelopment impact 50.
And then Mr. Vanderwood.
Project quality, 25, project feasibility, 25, and redevelopment impact, 45.
Okay. And then Mr. Norwood.
Project quality 20. Project redevelopment impact 40.
Okay, Mr. McLean.
Project quality 25, project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 45.
Ms. Akins.
Project quality 25, project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 45.
Next is 108 through 114. Thank you so much.
Ms.
South
Tucker,
2nd Street.
before we move on, Mr. Norwood, could you pass the exhibit to Ms. Krantz so she'll have a part of the record? Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Ms. Tucker.
That's okay. Miss McClarney texted that she was having some phone difficulty. So I've texted her that she is up. We're going to give her just a minute to call in. If she's not able to call in, we'll move on to scoring. Her cell phone battery is running low. She's indoors in Pennsylvania and having some connectivity issues. She says that she has completed some of the work, but due to summer heat, she made decisions to delay the projects for fall. We will see if she's able to call in. I'm going to give 1 minute. My phone says 9:32. We're going to give it to 9:33. I know that's not the actual time. It's just my phone time. And then we'll move on. Ms. McCartney just texted that she has no cell reception. Were there any important questions that y'all had that you want me to text her? Or shall we just move on to scoring?
I think we're fine to just score.
Okay, give me 1 second, I'll let her. And then we'll move to school. Okay, on to scoring, Ms. Williams.
Project quality, 25.
Okay.
Project feasibility, 25.
Mhm.
Redevelopment impact, 50.
Okay. Mr. Vanderwerf?
Project quality, 22. Project feasibility, 25.
Okay, Mr. Norwood?
Project quality 20. Project feasibility 20. Redevelopment impact 40.
Okay, Mr. McLean?
Project quality 20, project feasibility 20, redevelopment impact 45.
Okay, Ms. Akins?
Project quality 25, project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 50.
Okay, very good. The next address is 620 Oak Street.
Morning, my name is Wendy Musseline and I am 50% owner of this property. I guess the only comment I would address in terms of new information, you, at the beginning of the meeting, you mentioned a large transfer. I can explain that in my bank account. I did sell a property in Gainesville and got proceeds to be able to invest all of that money in this particular house. And the other 50% owner has had well over $500,000 in her bank account for well over 3 or 4 years. And I'd be happy to show you those bank accounts as well.
I'm so sorry. We didn't catch Miss Musseline's name for the record.
First name, Wendy.
Ms. Musseline, I do have a question. As part of the project description, you indicate here that some of the wood siding must be replaced and that this cost is not part of the proposal. Do you have any idea roughly how much that cost may be?
I have not evaluated it at this point, but I think it's no more than probably $2,000. But that will be something that I do not have. The contractor that gave the quote for this did not put any of that in because it will be my cost.
And what is the estimated time frame for project completion?
once I get on the slate, I would say no more than 2 weeks. Oh, but the schedule may be 3 months out. I feel confident we could get it done within the year timeframe that I'm given. I was just waiting to see if the city was going to assist in this, and also waiting for cooler weather, because I think this is a project to be done properly. It really needs the cooler temperature would be helpful.
Does anyone have any further questions about this application?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Ready for scoring?
Okay.
Ms. Williams?
Project quality, 20. Project feasibility, 20. Redevelopment impact, 30.
Okay. Mr. Vanderwood?
Project quality 22, project feasibility 25, and impact 42.
Okay, Mr. Norwood?
Project quality 20. Project feasibility 25. Development impact 50.
Mr. McLean?
Yes, project quality 20, project feasibility 20, redevelopment impact 40.
Ms. Akins?
Project quality 25, project feasibility 20, redevelopment impact 45.
Okay. The next property address is 330 St. John's Avenue. Do we have anyone in person or online? Perfect.
If you'll state your name and the project you're representing, please.
My name is Keith Katrina. I'm representing 332 St. John's Avenue.
Is it 330 or 332 St. John's Avenue?
330 is where the work will be done.
Thank you. Questions from the committee regarding this application?
Yes, and I think that you kind of just answered it right there, Mr. Cottrell. Whenever I'm looking at the information from the tax collector, it looks like we have multiple property addresses that are associated with you, but you're saying that the renovations that are included in your application are going to be solely for 330 St. John's Avenue.
Yes, 330.
And do you have any quotes from contractors, or are these estimated figures based on past experience?
Those are estimated, and I talked to a contractor after I submitted, and I'm in the ballpark.
Okay. And what would your project timeline be from start to completion? Do you know?
Probably be about 6 to 8 weeks.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
This is the one property I'm not that familiar with. I've been out of town for a while, so I was doing all these by Googling up all the different properties. And so for some reason I wasn't real clear. Obviously, this is on, right in the middle of St. John's Avenue. Is this currently retail spaces or apartments, or what's?
It is a commercial duplex.
Okay.
Are you from the area?
I do have a house here. I just didn't.
Okay.
I just flew in for this meeting. So
Okay.
I
It is right at the corner of 4th and St. John's, which is across the street from the tax collector.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's commercial.
It's commercial.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll move on to scoring. Ms. Williams?
We on 330?
I'm sorry?
330 St. John?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Project quality 25, Project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 50.
Okay, Mr. Vanderwood?
Project quality 20, project feasibility 20, redevelopment impact 40.
Okay, Mr. Norwood?
Project quality 20. Project feasibility 25. Development impact 40.
Okay, Mr. McLean?
Project quality 25, project feasibility 20, redevelopment impact 40.
Ms. Akins?
Project quality 25, project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 50.
Very good. Thank you, sir. We will move on to 209 South 4th Street. Do we have anyone present for 209 South 4th Street?
Hello,
Yes, ma'am?
can you hear me? I'm online. This is Corinne Backer.
Yes, and you're here for
Okay.
209?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any new information for the committee?
A little update. We have not started the project. We had not planned on starting till October. We do have architectural plans and permits will be submitted shortly for most of the work. And we have already, we already did the foundation. So that was only done in August. Those plans and receipts weren't acquired until August. More than happy to provide them to you. We also tented the property. That was also done in early September. So we've already done that work.
Okay. Are there any questions regarding this application?
Yes. According to the bank statement that you've included, it looks like you have approximately $35,000 to invest in this, but this is contingent upon another property being sold. Are those funds already earmarked, or will you be able to?
I apologize. I don't recall which bank statement I submitted, but we do have well over 100,000 in several bank accounts, including one. We did sell some properties. We'll be selling some other properties, but as needed, I can provide more bank statements. It's all cash, not credit.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Sorry.
It's okay.
He has something to say.
Are there any further questions from the committee? Okay, we'll move on to scoring. Ms. Williams?
Project quality 25, project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 50.
Mr. Vanderwerf?
Project quality 22, project feasibility 25, and redevelopment impact 45.
Okay, Mr. Norwood?
Project quality 20. Project feasibility 25. Redevelopment impact 45.
Okay, Mr. McLean?
Project quality 25, project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 45.
Ms. Akins?
Project quality 20, project feasibility 20, redevelopment impact 40.
Okay, very good. Our next address is 1024 St. John's Avenue.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. I
Okay.
knew you were here because I saw your face and I remembered, but I couldn't read the name. Can you please state your name?
Robert Graubard. Use a PO Box 472 in St. Augustine, Florida. I'm the project manager and agent for the owner.
Okay. Are there any questions regarding this application from the committee?
On the warranty deed, it has a Mr. Jim McMahon referenced. Who is he in relation to this application? Because that's different than what I see on the tax information.
I'm sorry, whose name are you saying?
Jim McMahon on the special warranty deed?
He's the seller.
Okay, sorry.
Do we have any further questions?
I do. If I'm looking at this correctly, the application for both 1024 St. John's Avenue and 1020 St. John's Avenue, this is the same individual. And it looks like both applications share the exact same financial information, and that balance is just over 159,000. The total cost between the projects, if my mental math is correct, and it very well may not be, is a little over 122,000. Do we feel like we're going to have sufficient coverage in the event we have something unexpected come up during construction?
The amount in that account now is approximately $325,000. I can supply you with a copy. Again, I'm in Denver, Colorado right now, but there's 325 approximate thousand in that account, and that's will take care of both buildings.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So I have a point of order question, maybe for Counselor. So when we've had a couple of these, so when people have updated financial information, how does that become, how do we verify it? How does it become part of the package?
Ms. Tucker would give them a date as to when it's due, and they would submit it with it. If it's not submitted within that time period, then you will not be considered.
Thank you.
We'll, I guess for the point of today, we'll score as if everything they tell us is correct, and we'll give a date of, say, next Friday for submission of any updated financials, and we'll send an email out to every applicant. So if anybody else has updated financials they need to send in, they can. All right. Any other questions before we start? No? Okay, we're ready to score. Ms. Williams.
Project quality 25, project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 50.
Okay, Mr. Vanderwerf.
Project quality 20, project feasibility 20, and redevelopment impacted 40.
Okay, Mr. Norwood.
Project quality, 20. Project feasibility, 20. Development impact, 40.
Okay, Mr. McLean.
Project quality 20, project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 40.
And Ms. Akins.
Project quality 25, project feasibility 20, redevelopment impact 45.
Okay. All right. And we will move on to 1020 St. John's Avenue, which is also Mr. Vard. So are there any questions regarding this application? Is there, while we're waiting on to see if there's any questions, sir, is there any updated information on this application? Yes, ma'am. Okay. And you can go to the mic and then you can hand it to me. That's fine.
Colleen Graubard for Robert Graubard on 1020 St. John's Avenue. And I have the plans from the structural engineer.
Why don't we start them with Mr. McLean, and that way if anybody wants to look at them, they can. And thank you so much. Is that a copy that you need back, or is that a copy for the record?
That's a copy for the record.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Ensure that the address is listed on the copy for the record.
I'm sorry, was that for me?
It was, but Mr. McLean answered it.
It is on there.
I don't think the mic was on.
It is on there.
Okay.
And if I may add to the record, those plans have been submitted to the building department. We're waiting for a permit.
Thank you, sir. Going to give everybody just a minute to look at them before we move to scoring. Are there any questions for the applicant at this point?
I'm assuming that the updated financial information will also apply to this one.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You ready? Okay, we'll begin the scoring with Ms. Williams.
Project quality, 25. Project feasibility, 25. Redevelopment impacted.
Mr. Linderbolt.
Project quality, 25. Project feasibility, 25, and redevelopment impact, 42.
Okay, Mr. Norwood.
Project quality, 20. Project feasibility, 25. Project redevelopment impact.
Mr. McLean.
Project quality 20, project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 40.
Okay, Ms. Akins.
Project quality 25, project feasibility 20, redevelopment impact 45.
The next address for an application is 617 Emmett Street. Yes, ma'am. Step to the mic.
Good morning. Excuse me. My name is Darlene Hasty, representative for my sister June Thompson.
Is there any new information regarding the application?
No, I don't have any. She's in Atlanta with her son for 3 weeks. He's in the hospital, had his leg amputated due to diabetes, so she couldn't be here today.
Thank you for coming in, Nurse Steve. Were there any questions regarding the application?
Sorry, the banker here. The ViStar bank statement has a name of Loretta J. Tootin Thompson. Does your sister go by a different legal name?
Her first name is Loretta.
Okay.
Her middle name is June.
Okay.
And that's what she's always been called.
Okay. I thought so, but we just need to be sure. Thank
I
you.
understand. Thanks.
Any other questions?
This isn't new information, but my sister's always been very adamant about the integrity of preserving the historical architecture of the house. And she was very proud of the pressed metal roof, which she'd like to preserve. And that's one of the things she's asking for. It is leaking and it's caused damage, but she very much is one of the few in the South Historic District that still has that type of roofing, the pressed metal.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to scoring if there are no other questions. Ms. Williams.
Project quality 15, project feasibility 15, redevelopment impact 30.
Okay, Mr. Vanderwerf?
Project quality 20, project feasibility 20, redevelopment impact 30.
Okay, Mr. Norwood?
Project quality 20. Project feasibility 20.
Mr. McLean?
Yes, project quality 20, project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 40.
Ms. Atkins?
Project quality 25, project feasibility 15, redevelopment impact 40.
Thank you. 422 Madison Street.
Madam Chair, if I may. I have been contacted, the city's main telephone line, as well as my city cell, has been contacted by the applicant, who is saying that he's tried 100 times to call in and cannot. Do you wish to call him from the speakerphone?
Excuse me, it's a point of order. I think since he tried, we should try to call him.
May I be allowed to approach to provide you the number? Thank you.
Call cannot be completed if dialed. Call cannot be completed.
Hello?
Hi, Mr. Arnold.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, hi, this is Desiree. We are here at the Tax Increment Committee, and we've reached your application for 422 Madison Street in Palatka, Florida. And we understand you weren't able to call in successfully, so we're calling you. That way the committee has an opportunity to ask you any questions that they have.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I want to first thank you, and I want to thank the committee for being able to give me a call. I apologize. My phone just did not want to do what I wanted it to.
Gotta love technology.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Madam
First,
Chair, if he could just identify himself with his first name, I don't think I heard it.
Okay. And for the record, if you could please just identify yourself, both your name and the property address.
My name is Matthew Armlin, and my address is 422 Madison Street, Palatka, Florida.
Thank you. Do we have
Yes,
any
ma'am.
questions for Mr. Armlin? A few of the applications that we went through, Mr. Armlin, we've uncovered that perhaps we need to request updated financial documents. I noticed in looking at the bank statement that you provided with your application that you had a large deposit on April 29th in the amount of $64,000. Prior to that deposit being made, though, your balances were averaging between $2,000 to $4,000. Do you have updated financial information, perhaps with like a 6-month average that could be provided by your financial institution to verify that you have the ability to cover this?
Yes, ma'am. I could reach out to Center State, the bank that I sent the pictures of my statements over. and I could show an update. The reason that I had the deposit at that time for that much money was I was just doing a refinance at the time. And that is actually, that's where that money came from. I did a refinance, so I would have leftover funds, which was that amount to actually put into the property.
Okay. And just so that we have the record correct, you referenced that you would contact Center State Bank. However, your bank statements reference South State Bank, and Center State Bank has been purchased by South State. So just so that we have the correct.
Yes, ma'am. Yep. Good catch. I apologize.
Nope, no worries. Does anybody else have any more questions? I'm sorry, Mr. Norwood. I know we're all giggling at the banker here. These are, it's not the same bank. All right. I think we're good, Mandy.
You guys all got me.
No, I think it was just me.
Okay, we'll move on to scoring then. So Ms. Williams.
Project quality 20, project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 40.
Okay, Mr. Vanderwerf.
Project quality 20, project feasibility 22, and redevelopment impact 30.
And Mr. Norwood.
Project quality 20, project feasibility 20, redevelopment impact 40.
And Mr. McLean.
Project quality 20, project feasibility 25, redevelopment impact 40.
And Ms. Akins.
Project quality 20, project feasibility 20, redevelopment impact 35.
Okay. All right. If we can call for a recess for about 15 minutes, we'll tabulate and then present you with the listing so that it can be approved.
Do we want to go ahead and let Mr. Armand disconnect? Okay. All right, Mr. Armand, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, man. You guys have a great day.
You too. You too. Bye.
Thank you. We are recessed at 10:02 for 15 minutes.
You guys are on.
Hello? Yes, hi, this is Lindsay. Hi, I'm great, thanks, how are you? Yes. Yes. If there's any way possible to do it. Okay, so I'll definitely be back with her. At 2:30. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, goodness.
All right, so that worked out.
I was like, oh, you just kidding? In a 6-hour window, he gives me the 1 hour that. can't be good. All right, Angel Face Sugar Plum, it's your turn. Your brother's up now. Now we got you. Put the cheese on it.
All right, recess is over. We're ready to go ahead and reconvene the meeting. We'll get started again.
Madam Chair, the results have been tallied, and if I may, I'm happy to enter into the record the results.
Go ahead. Thank you.
113 North 4th Street, Palatka, Florida, 32177. Project quality, 24. Project feasibility, 24. Redevelopment impact, 45, for a total score of 93. 209 South 4th Street, Palatka, Florida, 32177. Project quality, 22.4. Project feasibility, 24. Redevelopment impact, 45, for a total score of 91.4. 1020 St. John's Avenue, Palatka, Florida, 32177. Project quality, 23. Project feasibility, 24. Redevelopment impact, 43.4, for a total score of 90.4. 330 St. John's Avenue, Palatka, Florida, 32177. Project quality, 23. Project feasibility, 23. Redevelopment impact, 44, for a total score of 90. 108 to 114 South 2nd Street, Palatka, Florida, 32177. Project quality, 22.4. Project feasibility, 23. Redevelopment impact, 43, for a total score of 88.4. 1024 St. John's Avenue, Palatka, Florida, 32177. 22, project quality, 22. Project feasibility, 22. Redevelopment impact, 43. Total score, 87. 309 St. John's Avenue, Palatka, Florida, 32177. Project quality, 20. Project feasibility, 22. Redevelopment impact, 43.4. Total score, 85.4. 620 Oak Street, Palatka, Florida, 32177. Project quality, 21.4. Project feasibility, 22. Redevelopment impact, 41.4. Total score of 84.8. 118 North 8th Street, Palatka, Florida, 32177. Project quality, 21.4. Yep. Project feasibility, 22. Redevelopment impact, 41.4. Total score, 84.8. 118 North 8th Street, Palatka, Florida, 32177. Project quality, 18.4. Project feasibility, 18. Redevelopment impact, 38.6. Total score, 75.
I just want to clarify that those were the rankings for the applications in the Central Business District. The next two given will be given for the South TIF District and then for the North TIF District, because each district is separate in their awards. Ms. Krantz, I'm sorry.
Thank you. For the South TIF, 617 Emmett Street, Palatka, Florida, 32177. Project quality, 20. Project feasibility, 19. Project redevelopment impact, 36. Total score, 75. North TIF District, 422 Madison Street, Palatka, Florida, 32177. Project quality, 20. Project feasibility, 22.4. Redevelopment impact, 37, for a total score of 79.4. Thank you, Madam Chair.
So unless you saw any errors or need any changes made to the ranking or by your scoring, we can get a motion to adopt the ranking list.
How would you like that? What would be the proper thing to say there? Counselor?
The proper way to do it would be to make a motion for each of the 3 districts, since they are separate. The motion would be to adopt the ranking score for the Central Business District. The board, the committee would vote on it, and then you go to the North, South District, and the North District.
So noted. Madam Chair, I make a motion to accept the rankings for the Central Business District as recorded.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, for the South TIF District, do we have a motion?
So moved that we accept the ranking for the South Historic District as calculated.
Second.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Now for the North TIF District.
So we accept the ranking for the North Historic District. Calculated ranking as well.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
That is all of the business that we have.
I have a question, if I may.
Yes,
Madam
sir.
Chair. Okay,
Yes.
and I'll look to staff. So for our next meeting, I know I made copies and went through and looked at some of the property. So are we able to come by and pick up the copies or ahead of time? Is that allowed or should we wait?
You mean for the next grant cycle that's
Yeah.
coming up? We can distribute copies of the applications once they have been looked over by staff and made sure they're all complete. We give you all the complete applications to score. So yes, we can make the applications for the next cycle available before the initial meeting if y'all would like. That shouldn't be a problem.
Madam Chair, I just think that might be helpful if they could do that.
Absolutely.
When's the next cycle?
The next cycle is advertised right now and it closes, I believe, on October 17th.
All right.
I just want to remind the committee members about ex parte communications among each other. Ms. Krantz sent out an email. When she sends out emails to you as a group, please, please, please do not respond to reply to all. Right? And thank you so much.
Should we leave the binders? We don't need them.
It's however you desire.
We'll use them in the next one. Thank you all so much for your service. Thank you for asking. What happens next is we take the rankings and the scorings as they were approved by the committee and we present them to the CRA at their next meeting, which I believe is October the 8th. Could be wrong. It might be the 11th.
I think. If you'll give me a second, I'll double check it. I think it is a little bit later. I'm looking. It's the 10th.
I was close. And then the CRA board will look at the rankings and listings. They'll make a recommendation of award, and then that recommendation goes to the city commission at their next meeting. It is at that point that they will either award or not and give a monetary figure to it. So you're all more than welcome to attend the CRA meeting and speak to the item, filling out a yellow card. And again, at the city commission, same thing. So that's where we are now. Did that answer your question, Sigrid?
Ms. Krantz, could you tell us the first meeting in October for the city commission?
The first meeting in October for this. I'm sorry. The first meeting in October for the city commission is the 13th, but I don't know that it'll go from
We're not
CRA
sure.
to
Right.
commission that quickly.
Right.
So I believe it'll actually be on the 27th commission meeting.
And also just a point of order as well. This committee is only making a recommendation to the CRA. You know, it is not in concrete, in stone. Okay.
Right. Yeah, you're recommending and scoring, and then the CRA will determine how many funds they have to award. Every application scored the minimum necessary to receive an award. However, they are limited by the budget they allocate to the program. And so they'll make a decision to recommend to the commission as well. So the monetary figures could fluctuate. And just because you got recommended for an award doesn't mean they'll have the money to give one, but we'll know more after that CRA meeting.
May I ask that any speakers please come to the microphone?
So there is another grant cycle that is there. Are you eligible if you're in this process right now to apply for the same thing since you don't know the result?
Well, the application deadline for the next cycle is October 17.
Which
So-
will be before you
Which
get-
would be after the CRA meeting, but
before the city. commission.
Possibly before the city commission meeting. I'm not sure that it won't go on the 13th. I'm gonna have to check with the city manager on that because typically it's just a straight process over from one to the other. So I would say you could technically have your application ready and make that determination yourself. There's nothing in the program documents that says you cannot apply for the next cycle while you're still being considered for the first one.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
All right, thank you for your time today. This concludes today's meeting.
Oh,